I do want to touch on the story that broke, obviously, 1 or 2 hours before we went live, and I think a few commenters were alluding to it earlier. Mickey Harte has left his post as Derry manager, just 1 year in charge, less than a year since we got the announcement. I think when we got the announcement, I think it might have been in August or September of last year. So yeah, kind of incredible. Like, Derry won the league. Things were looking all rosy in the Garden. They got beat by Donegal. They got caught, and things have completely spiraled out of control since then. They managed to get that win versus Mayo, which was huge. They were then very poor against Kerry, no doubt about that. But overall, yeah, Mickey Harte, 1 year in charge, leaving. A lot of people saying they're not surprised. What do you think?
I wasn't surprised by the news either, Aaron. I know it was breaking news and all that. I was on the train home, but to be honest, looking at it, I wasn't sitting in my seat absolutely with a gasping mouth. I was like, yeah, I expect it, to be honest, because just the attitude of the Derry players, even in the Kerry game last week, it was almost like there was no urgency in their play. They didn't want to be in an All-Ireland semi-final, and that was probably an indication enough for me anyway that they wanted Mickey out. And I just feel like, yeah, it just was going to end in tears in many ways from a Derry point of view. But you just question the appointment of Mickey Harte. I know it started off well in the league. They had a good league campaign. They beat Dublin in the league final. But when you think about it last season, Kieran Mina didn't do necessarily a bad job last year, in my opinion. Got very close to Kerry, playing open, expansive football, and could have won that game very easily on the semi-final last season. So to show him the door last season was really, really, a strange decision for Derry, and just to bring in Mickey Harte like that. And Mickey Harte himself must be absolutely livid with his decision now, because like, to leave Louth, and Louth got to an All-Ireland quarter-final, ended their year at a high, and for him to go to Derry, and he ended up being quite a mess, to be honest with you. I just think it was really, really badly handled from Mickey Harte's point of view and from Derry's point of view as well. It was always going to end in tears, the way Derry were playing as well. And yeah, it was just really, really poor. Like, the way, like, to be honest, I think Kevin Kennedy, our good friend from the GA Sports Track Rap, made a very good point as well. Yes, they lost to Donegal, they lost to Armagh, they lost to Galway, but they were playing a football that they were suited to, and they knew and loved. They were very good at it. But as soon as this changed style against Westmeath, it was almost like the excitement kind of died out of them, and they weren't enjoyable to watch anymore. They weren't necessarily getting results. Yes, they beat Mayo, but let's be honest, Aaron, it was a penalty shootout. So could you count that as a win? It was a draw. And then the Kerry game, again, like I said to the lads earlier as well, if you took away the scoreboard in that game, you wouldn't have known Derry were 3 or 4 points down. Like, it was just that kind of a game where Derry were just going through the motions to get to the final whistle here, and it was just no urgency about the play. It was very, very poor from a Derry point of view. So to cut a long story short, Aaron, I wasn't shocked about the news whatsoever. I just think it was writing on the wall for a bit of a while now, and yeah, he's gone now, Mickey Harte. And the question is, who goes into Derry next? Will it be Joe Brennan, or will Lowe lock him in the basement? We'll have to see.
Yeah. I think I seen a great one on Twitter as well. I think it might have been from RF, who said Loud have announced that Derry have got rid of Mickey Harte, or that Mickey Harte has stepped down, which was kind of funny in fairness. Gavin says, great win for the Derry Miners as well, 2 in a row, but who will they play for in senior in a few years? Yeah, absolutely, it's worth mentioning as well. Obviously, Derry winning the All-Ireland Minor Football Championship, and look, underage seems to be going well. Does seem to be a crop of players there, but a lot just depends on this current group, obviously, that they have, because Will McGuigan, McCaig, Rogers, Glass all be playing when those lads get to the senior level. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. So that is the interesting one. But for Mickey Harte, is this it? Is this the end? It's a very sad end, to be honest with you. I feel like when he left Tyrone, it was like, it felt a little bit disappointing, but I felt like he was leaving Tyrone in an okay place. And look, they went on to win the All-Ireland a year later. He came into Louth. He did a phenomenal job there. He was hugely respected. He felt like if he had left Louth, he would have got a huge amount of plaudits from everyone. Whereas now it's like, it's very hard to know where he goes from here. Like, I don't think anyone else in Ulster is going to take him. The only thing I can think of, and this is a bit of a left field one, could Mickey Harte end up going to Kildare?
If he goes to Kildare, Aaron, to be honest, that tells you more about the Kildare County Board than it does Mickey Harte or anybody else, because Kildare, obviously we're kind of going off topic here, but the Kildare, what they need is an inside manager that knows Kildare football inside and out. Like, what's wrong with Brian Flanagan? What's wrong with anybody in the Kildare underage setup, which they have excelled in over the last few seasons? What's wrong with Davy Burke if he is available, if he does leave Roscommon? Like, I think Kildare need to go with someone like that. They tried with the legendary player, legendary manager, and it ended up going flat in their face. Remember when they appointed Jack O'Connor and they thought they'd win a Leinster title, and they ended up playing football against Dublin that was just poor on the eye, and Jack O'Connor was just saying, we're happy to play this style of football. It was just a sense of, like, what was the point of all that about? So I just think if Mickey Harte goes to Kildare, I think they're scraping the bottom of the barrel, to be honest, Aaron. I just think it wouldn't be a good fit at all. I think one county that actually might be, maybe the left field one in Ulster, Antrim. I don't know, but we'll have to see. But look,
is Andy McEntee? Is he gone as well? Oh yeah, he is gone. No, he's not.
He's not. No. But it was just a suggestion. Would he go to Antrim once Andy ends?
Yeah. It could be one. I don't think him going to Kildare would be the worst appointment, to be honest with you. I actually think he could do a good job there. I think with Kildare, they've had a lot of inside men in it, and it hasn't worked. Do you know what I mean? I think Jack O'Connor done a very good job when he was in charge of Kildare, getting them up to Division 1, sort of laid the foundations really for Glenn Ryan to come in on. I don't think it would be a bad appointment necessarily. But would Mickey Harte do that? I don't think so. I think he went aloud, and that was different, and everything else. But
guess it's back to me. Yeah. Just to carry it on, I suppose. Maybe could go to Antrim, but to be honest, when it's all said and done, I think Mickey Harte would be just better off just ending his career now. Just end up as a legend. I think maybe what would have been a perfect send-off for a great manager like Mickey Harte would be to guide Loud what Joe Brennan did this year, to guide them to an All-Ireland quarter-final, to guide them to All-Ireland quarter-final weekend in Croke Park. I think that would have been the icing on top of the cake for Mickey Harte as a manager. But the fact he went to Derry afterwards, it was always going to be a risky appointment, but it ended up being an absolute disaster in my opinion. And it was just like, why did you do it? Simply. And for now anyway, I think Mickey should probably just hang up the whistle, hang up the management gear, because Brian Cody made the right decision with Kilkenny. Just hang it up when you're out on top, or if things are going down a barrel, if they're getting worse. So I think Mickey should probably end his career as of now, I'd say.
Yeah, because he's the reason why he went to Derry was to win an All-Ireland. If he goes to Kildare, you're not winning All-Ireland there, are you? Do you know what I mean? You're probably not even going to win Leinster as well. So it's it probably does feel like it is the end of the road. Gavin says that Donegal game just changed everything. Glen winning the club and Derry the league. You would have thought it would be a great year for Derry. Kieran says time for Joe Brolly to step up to the mark as Derry manager after all his comments on Mickey Harte. Look, I mean, I think a lot of things did go wrong for Mickey Harte. There's no doubt about that. But I do think Joe Brolly has really stuck the foot in, and there's probably no surprises there, because that always seems to be what he does. Kieran also says here, unfortunately for Mickey, I reckon it's the end for him. Nowhere else for him to go. Plus, really, would he want to go anywhere else now? John also says, delight for Mickey Harte. He was never welcomed, accepted, or respected in Derry. The abuse he got from Joe Brolly throughout the season was disgraceful. So there we go. Yeah, plenty of comments on that. Where did Derry go? Who did they appoint? Could it be Malachy O'Rourke? Maybe. It's hard to really know who they go for.
I think a very good appointment, an inside appointment from a Derry point of view, would be Damien McIlernan. if I pronounced that correctly, the minor football manager. He won 2 All-Ireland minors in a row. Maybe it doesn't, underage doesn't translate to senior, but at the same time, it did for Galway with Power Joyce coming up through the ranks. It has done for other counties as well. Kildare should probably follow the same suit with Brian Flanagan as well. Maybe it would be worth a try to get Damien McIlornan in, and maybe they bid in that successful minor team, the likes of Dylan Rocks, the likes of James Sargent, Jordan, like maybe they could come into the team at relative ease. So maybe that could be an appointment that they could look towards. I think the box office appointment would be Brolly, but would Brolly be brave enough to do it?
No,
I don't think so. No, he doesn't stick his words where his mouth is. To be honest with you, for all these Twitter comments, he just doesn't go a manager team. But look, that's Joe Brolly for you. I think Malachy O'Rourke would be a decent enough appointment. Like, he's done very well at Glen, to be fair to him. Like, if Kieran Mina was welcomed back with open arms, maybe. But like, he's doing an excellent job at Down as probably in the backroom team there. So would he leave that post? Probably not, the way Down are going at the moment. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think Malachy O'Rourke or McIlornan are probably the front runners in my opinion.